the auditions, I think, for the transgender show, somebody pulled it out and just let it.
They pulled the hammer out?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
He said somebody almost got shot in the head.
Oh, talking about, I thought you thought the transgender pulled their meat out.
No.
He said the blah, blah. I thought they put the meat out.
No, they didn't. It was a gun. This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them for during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it. Those girls could not sing.
Hey, man, they was trying to bring the vibe. Like, they was the first girls to curate the vibe. So I'm not mad at it. They did what they had to do. All right, you're now listening to Talk FNF TV. I'm your host, Rhetoric, and I'm with my lovely and amazing and green for St. Patrick's Day that just passed co-host.
Not for that.
No, you definitely wore that. You wore the pink for Mean Girls, and you wore the green for St. Patty Day. So don't act like, don't front.
That is a Caucasian holiday.
Hey, that movie was too. And I'm always going to remind you, there was two black movies.
That's a girly movie.
There was two black movies in the theaters,
movie.
and you chose.
I also had no idea it was a musical.
You chose your gender over your race.
That is the one time I did that.
All right, man. So we back at it. It's been a week. Has it been a slow week or interesting week? I feel like there's been a lot of subtle things, a lot of seeds that's been planted, but it hasn't been like anything explosive this week.
Definitely not explosive, but there's been interesting things going on.
I think we got some stuff to explore here.
Yeah.
But first, we got to definitely get into this Don Lemon interview. So, did you see it?
No, but you watched it, right?
Yeah, no, I watched.
Thing?
Yeah, I watched the entire thing because I kept seeing all these clips going around of Elon Musk and Don Lemon talking, and everybody's like, "Oh, look at Elon. He owned Don in this one. Don didn't know what to do. He was all down with the agenda." And I'm just like, "What are y'all talking about?" Like, there was only one time that I saw where he kind of bested him, but in the whole time I'm watching it, and I just want to kind of just give an overview of just him as an individual before I kind of go into some of the talking points they had. He's just not an impressive individual when it comes to like being audible. It's just not anything like it's some people you listen to and you kind of can get that like, oh, you the dude that's just really inside doing the nerdy shit. And I don't get that from him. Not in the least bit.
He's always giving me like poser, but he has money so he can act like he knows more than he actually does. It's
like a fake attempt to be Lex Luthor being Tony Stark, but failing at both all the way through.
That is a great example.
It's just so like and then it's like I'm big on like he stutters, so it's like that's like not good leadership in my opinion. It just doesn't come off like somebody who you can trust.
That's
moving forward.
But okay.
I mean, okay, that's fair. I'll take it.
He just came at everybody with a stutter and was like, "You can't lead."
I mean,
okay?
it just when it's this guy, it just seems like he was like, and you're like, come on, Don, get him, just get him, take him out, let him go take a break because he's like he need a glass of water like the whole time.
So what were they talking about in the interview? Like, what were they discussing?
They were just kind of it was a general synopsis of him. Like they talked a little bit about some of the things that he said, advertisers and some of the stance he was taking. They went in with the Great Migration conversation that he had tweeted out where he was talking about this shit was funny. You know, the replacement of people from other countries, quote unquote illegal immigrants, coming into the country to replace, white people. He's kind of talked about that. He also he kind of like acted like he didn't know much about it. He also tried to say things like about diversity, like the DEI, the diversity, inclusion, whatever shit. He talked about his criticisms in regards to that. He kept referring to the requirements to be like a doctor being taken away or like being like diminished so more people can be doctors. That's basically what you're trying to imply, like, oh, we're making the standards and the qualifications to be doctors easier, and that can cause people to lose lives. But then he asked him, well, which way are you referencing that? Which way do you think that is? It's happening. And he's like, oh, well, people on Twitter will come in and they'll show you all the resources. And so everybody on X will come in on this post and they'll come. And it's like, bro, what are you talking about? But then scoff when he said studies show. When Don would say studies show X, Y, and Z about this, it's like, so you gonna believe?
He doesn't reference studies.
But he references, oh, the people on Twitter are going to show you, which will come from more likely other studies.
That's crazy.
So the one part that he did get the best of Don was when they was talking about censorship. Because I think, Don, you handled this so horribly. I don't think you were really prepared to have that conversation about the censorship. It seemed like it was just a passer note that you just wanted to go off, even though he did have, like, he pulled tweets up and stuff. The problem was this. He talked about it was like an anti-Jewish tweet that had been up for a while and hadn't been taken down, and he said it fell in line of all the, what was required for it to be removed. It was hate speech and all that other stuff. And he asked Don, was it illegal? He said, no, it's not illegal, but, why would you want to have that on your platform, yada, yada. And what he should have talked about was, you're right, it's not illegal, but it's uncomfortable. And we need to ask this question. I don't know a lot of people out there who have daughters or not, but if your daughters do, like, cheerleading, gymnastics, and that stuff gets posted on YouTube, you should probably go check those comments. Because those men aren't necessarily saying things that are illegal, but they are definitely saying things that would be troubling to see and hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there's ways to get out. So it was like, if I was Don, I would have asked him a question like that. I was like, okay, I understand what you're saying about illegal, but how would you handle a situation if a mother posted her picture on, her mother posted her daughter's picture on X, and there was grown men saying she was hot or cute or, saying things that were not appropriate for a child, but it's not illegal. Would you remove that? So now you kind of go into that whole where they say everybody's a pedophile type conversation. Now you kind of make him have to pick a side and really stand up, because he was trying to, instead of talking about where Elon has said, like, oh, this X, Y, and Z, he kept trying to make him be inconsistent, saying you're not really the conservative person that you claim to be on X. You're just doing that to be a personality. And he was really trying to pull his card like that. And that's why, it worked for the most part for me, except on that censorship conversation. Like, everything else, he sounded like a bumbling idiot and fool. He got really mad when Don asked him about the company falling. So he was like, you said, if the advertisers want to destroy the company, they can. But if the buck stops with you, wouldn't that mean, basically you destroyed the company? And, that man he looked like a white Mr. Potato Head. Like, no cap. He was really, like, about to turn purple. That's how red he was about to get. He was just about to turn a whole shade of purple.
Because Twitter has not turned a profit since Elon took over, right? Like, they're still not doing well.
Honestly, I don't know if they were actually getting a real high profit beforehand. I know they were advertising was a lot of where the revenue was coming from before he got there. Now that he done did the X subscription and stuff like that, he was trying to say that's increased, and he was just doing a whole bunch of meandering, for lack of a better word, around what was actually going on, and the fact that, some of his bigger advertisers still haven't returned back to the platform yet. But he tries to be this proponent of free speech, and he even tells Don, like, at the beginning of the interview, you can ask me anything. I'm cool with anything. And then when he asked him about his drug use of ketamine, he goes, that's kind of personal of a question to ask someone. Like, it's just so much inconsistency. Yeah, just so much inconsistency. Ketamine, yeah. That's what he said he was using for his depression. And then he lied, too, where he said, oh, my goodness, this guy's, he's just so easy to just read. This guy says he has a prescription, but then he says he doesn't have a certain time or amount that he has to take either daily, week. Like, there's no repetition with it. So now either what you're saying is your doctor's a dumbass, or somebody's just writing you a prescription for a drug that you don't really need. Yeah.
Because usually prescriptions come with directions.
Yeah. And he asked him the directions of it, and he basically was like, I don't do it all the time. Do you think I can make the decisions I make if I was always messed up? And it's like, come on, dude. You look crazy already. Anytime we see you out here in the streets. So that's nothing. Like, anytime anybody seeing you, you're not an appealing looking individual.
No, he looks dead behind the eyes.
He looks like he just crawls in. Like he looks like the Emperor off of Doom. Like he just crawls into his little dark pot of just disgustingness.
Yeah.
And just bathes in filth for a day.
He's like a caricature of like a evil rich guy.
He just plays it so bad. And it's like, I mean, I get it. You don't want to be like Mark Zuckerberg and all them guys because they're kind of like, they're all like bought in with the government anyway.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg is scary. He kind of reminds me of a worm.
You remember they wanted to fight? He wanted to fight Mark Zuckerberg?
They were supposed to like box for charity or something,
like,
right?
I think it was like kickboxing or something they were supposed to do.
That was going to be absolutely ridiculous.
Mark would have kicked your ass, Elon. He would have whooped your ass. I'm trying to think what else was another part of the interview. I think that was really the most kind of the pull
Mark
out of it.
would have won?
Yeah, Mark would have whooped his ass. No lie. It would have been Mark trains. Like Elon,
I feel like Elon probably got muscles that do nothing if he does have muscles.
Elon is the type of dude where he'll buy 3 or 4 fighters time to just hang out and look cool with.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark is the nigga who will find a trainer and buy you for 2 years. And now we training every day doing mixed martial arts. Like Mark Zuckerberg is one of those kind of guys. Like I wouldn't want to catch Mark Zuckerberg in the street, one-on-one. Like maybe when he first was out there, when he was a little dweeby dude.
I just feel like his body can do but so much.
Nah, he got some muscle on him.
Okay.
I think he wasn't with it. But overall, I'm not impressed with Elon. I think I went on record before where I said I thought he was actually this real genius individual. Then I heard him talk long form. He's also been against unions in the past, so he's already become op number 1 when you do that. I hope Tesla keeps shorting. I want to short Tesla. Like, I hope your stock falls to oblivion. I don't have anything nice else to say.
He's been giving out those cyber trucks, or I don't know. I've been seeing them all over social media. People been getting them.
Oh, then his race. Okay, that was the part I want to talk about. His take on race. He did a Morgan Freeman.
What does that mean?
You never heard Morgan Freeman's comment on race on what we need to do?
No.
Just stop talking about it.
That's not that is not the answer.
Hey, you're asking God, Morgan Freeman. That was the answer. Just stop talking about it because, that's what gets anything fixed. Like the question I just
bury it deep.
And the thing I wish Don would have said, but I know Don, you may be a brother, but you're tied up with those Caucasians. You're tied up tight. Just ask him, why do we have to stop talking about it when we can just resolve it? Why is that never an option? Let's just resolve the issue of race.
Because it's way more complicated to resolve it than to stop talking about it. Because we have to start talking about it to resolve it.
Wake it up. Wake it up. That's what I'm just saying. It's just that's where it's just clear for me where it's like that when we come to that kind of conversation, nobody wants to really ask that question because again, it's not. But overall, I would say Elon, it looked like a racist narcissist the entire time.
Well, that's exactly what he is. I feel like
that's what he seemed like anyway.
If you were white raised in Africa, then you gonna have some type of superiority complex, especially with what his family did.
And then he tried to say like he grew up in a hard life.
No, you didn't.
That's what he said.
You literally did not. That's crazy.
I mean, Emerald Farms
and
are hard.
Delusional.
Emerald Farms are hard. At least he wasn't a Nickelodeon kid. That could have been different.
Ooh, yeah. So
no, introduce it, my love.
Yeah. So recently there was a 2-night documentary series that came out on Max, Quite on Set, which detailed what goes on behind the scenes in like child stars' careers, specifically Nickelodeon, in the like Dan Schneider era. So,
well, before we get into it, I want to know a little bit about what you had known about Dan Schneider before this. I think that's important to how we felt after we watched this.
So prior to this, I thought Dan Schneider was like this disgusting monster that was literally essaying people. Like, that's what I thought. I thought he was putting his hands on children and getting away with it. But we watched this documentary series, and that wasn't the case. He didn't, allegedly, from what we know now, he didn't actually essay anybody. He didn't molest anybody. He was just a creepy, horrible boss.
Yeah, I mean, so my experience of this whole, because a lot of people don't know that this kind of started and stemmed from like YouTube conspiracies.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was actually a big part of it. I think this, when I remember it happened, it was probably around like 2013 or 14. This is around the time Jeanette McCurdy, I think that's her name.
Yeah,
from iCarly.
Mm-hmm.
That's when she was dating Andre Drummond, who was a basketball player. He still plays right now. He's a center, 7-foot guy. So it was always an awkward pairing with them. He's 7 foot and she's this little small white girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, like a little bit after that, it kind of started coming from like a lot of right wing conspiracy theorists. I usually put y'all in the guys who always like blame everything on the devil. Like y'all say everything's the devil and all that stuff. They started talking about the Nickelodeon's kind of like sets and stuff and like what was going on. And like you, I thought that there was like a lot of, physical violence on his behalf.
Yeah.
The way that they told it, like a lot of the things that they would try to make it seem like that he was going on was he was orchestrating a lot of these things. And even they talked about some of the humor and the jokes about it as well, and where that can kind of be inappropriate. But they tried to make him seem like he was the ringleader of everything Nickelodeon. That he controlled what was going on and how everything was produced. And they also made it seem like he was someone who was allowing pedophiles to, roam the sets and be able to have this environment. They made him seem like he was the kingpin.
Unchecked. Yeah.
So we get into, actually what, Quiet on Set was. And, they at the end of the day, the portrayal of him before this was he was the Harvey Weinstein for children. That's what I had for him.
Literally, yeah. I thought this was going to be on par with that.
But it comes up to where, they talk about a little bit his early life. Father went to Harvard. He was pretty much viewed like an underachiever. He also lied. They say he lied about going to Harvard as well, like in a newspaper that he told. But he ended up finding, footing in that Head of the Class show. And then that's kind of where everything took off for him. He was able to get to Nickelodeon, started doing all that, and he really kind of shaped face. And the way, like I said, the way they presented it was that he was this guy that was the king of Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm. And he was discovering talent that was really amazing for Nickelodeon that made them better competition for like Disney and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And one of the weird things that I saw when we was watching the first part, I was like, why is Ice Cube at Nickelodeon? And I really and I went back and actually thought about that when I was a kid. I'm like, why was Ice Cube at Nickelodeon? The gangster rapper Ice Cube.
There were a lot of rappers at Nickelodeon back then, and I thought about this a while ago, and this was a discussion that came up, but Nickelodeon used to be so much blacker.
No,
Nickelodeon used to be mad black. Like,
but if you remember, that's what they talked about where he was praised for. The entire time was that he put black kids, women on television. Mm-hmm. Like he put them at a young age on television in front of everybody and gave them opportunities to shine.
That's crazy because the black kids and the women were the ones that specifically were having the worst experiences behind the scenes as far as actors.
Were they? I believe there was a redhead boy that got the redheaded stepchild treatment. We'll talk about him soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so I think some of the jokes were kind of crazy. So let's kind of get into some of the jokes that were a little over the line.
Let me say this first. It's very normal for producers or like writers to like throw an adult joke into like a kid's show, a kid's movie for the parents. Just something like that the kid wouldn't notice that's not super inappropriate, but the parent could be like, haha, because they're gonna be bored.
Rugrats was full of those.
SpongeBob was full of those too.
You remember on The Little Mermaid, the cartoon version, there was like pictures that looked like dildos in the back of the.
So there's always like little hints of that. I think Dan Schneider, though, there was a lot of stuff that he did, and you can get into that right now.
So like one of the first ones that they kind of highlighted was the Noseboy skit. So first off, they worried about the nose looking like dicks. Y'all put a big nose on a black boy.
That was my thing. I was like, when they said that they put two noses on my shoulder, I was like, oh, to make fun of your blackness. And he was like, and they look like dicks. I was like, that's not where
That's
my mind
not
went at all.
I saw the nose on I saw the prosthetic nose, and I'm thinking, oh, these niggas violate.
Yeah.
Y'all called, so you can't do it. They wouldn't have did that to no Jewish boy. They wouldn't have called him no nose boy.
No.
But y'all went out there and defamed his name with
Just
that.
big black noses on your shoulder. But
they
what?
did look like, once they pointed that out.
Yeah, I was like, those are dicks.
Yeah, they would definitely look like those were of the male variety on this shit. But then they even showed the whole climax to the joke was him sneezing on Shawty.
Mm-hmm.
And it was supposed to be like a money shot.
There were a lot of money shot jokes. Like Dan Schneider is sick for that. There was so much cum shot stuff. And then not even just the stuff that they showed us in the documentary. We then go on social media and then there's like scene after scene after scene of just like money shot jokes in a kid's show.
But you got to remember too, slime was always part of Nickelodeon,
Yes.
even before he got there. So the whole putting, something on your face or something like that, dripping on you like that, was inherent to the channel.
But he did it differently because there were dick jokes followed by
No, he had one where
jokes.
he had one where they were shooting water into iCarly's mouth.
Yeah, and she was on her knees.
On her knees, yeah. Like, so it was a lot of wild jokes. They had the one other one where they had the little boy. He was in peanut butter because they had him doing like a little Fear Factor.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember what that black man's name is, but he was definitely going through it.
Oh no, he was the most traumatized.
Yeah.
He was the one. We can
one
get into
person.
him a little bit. No, wait, right. Well, he was real deal traumatized. He was the one he said was in therapy and everything.
Yeah, he's still currently in therapy.
Did you believe his mama? Let's wake that up. Did you believe his mama?
What do you mean?
She said that she was the one being more vocal and all that other stuff about what was going on.
I do, because he was only on there for one season.
Well, there's a lot of kids that got dropped. That wasn't normal.
Well, you said he got dropped because he was ass.
Yeah, he was not good to me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that was offensive. I watched you when I was a kid. I thought you was I hated him on the show. Like, he was the worst. I hated that he put the hat on you. Like, a lot of stuff I hated probably wasn't even your choice. I hated the way they painted you. Like, you reminded me of a kid that I really didn't like when I was growing up too. So it was just like, get this nigga out of here. Like, when they replaced you with Nick Cannon, like, that was my kind of dude. I was like, oh, okay, I can relate to this corny Negro. You are too far corny. Like, it was like a parody. His character was like a parody up there.
They probably did that on purpose. So
it probably no fault. But they covered him in peanut butter and had a dog lick him.
Mm-hmm.
He was very uncomfortable with that.
He said, "I don't like this" on the sketch, like in the skit.
Then what else they said? He was selling. They made him sell Girl Scout cookies like they was drugs.
Yeah,
He
the
said
little black boy being a drug dealer was a choice, and then his mom said that she spoke out against that.
I just don't. I'm sorry. I don't believe that. I believe that was cap. I don't think his mom spoke out at all.
Well, she did say. I think they both said that he didn't trust her anymore.
Afterwards.
Because of how much she did speak out, and their relationship was affected by it. So because of the fact that he was only on there for one season, and because of the fact that their relationship was strained, I think she did speak out. She might be capping about how much she spoke out. I don't know why you think that she's lying about that, but I think she probably did say something.
Okay, so they also had him do the fetus rapper too, where he basically was like in a brown whole suit, and he was supposed to be like a baby fetus.
He was in a flesh.
He was like Brenda's baby.
Suit. And he said that he was in a lot of like leotards.
No, that was the other dude.
That was the other guy?
First black boy
Okay.
was the one who played. That was Nose Boy.
Okay.
The other black boy was the one who did the other the drug deal and all that other stuff.
Okay.
So no, that was that. He also had the worms that he didn't like. But nah, he said he was uncomfortable. But you know what's funny? I feel like if I was like one of them little child stars, the way the mama was acting, my mama would have really been like that. So I have a little story.
I was about to say, don't you have a child star story?
I have a little story. So when I was younger, I was in a pageant. You know what I'm saying? On some player stuff.
That's really crazy. Like, I've never come across a man that did pageants.
I was that dude, yo. You need to understand that. So I did a pageant, and I remember I was really upset because they was announcing the winners, and I felt like I wasn't going to win. And I even started tearing up a little bit in the crowd with my mama. I felt like I let her down. Like, am I an ugly kid? Like, you had me at 40 years old, and I'm an ugly kid. That's a waste of a 40-year-old pregnancy.
Oh my
You know
God.
what I'm saying?
You didn't even
That's
have to do all
That's
that.
the waste of a high-risk pregnancy. That's what I was thinking as a child. So, third place comes up, and guess whose name they call?
Yours.
Young Rhetoric. I run up there. It wasn't even like I was crying anymore. I was ran up there so fast to grab my trophy. Oh, I thought I was him. Everybody, I'm waving at everybody. Yeah, you know, I'm him. I'm probably
Beauty king.
I'm like 4 or 5 years old. Like, I'm young. I can barely read. And so, you know, we leave, we go out, and I just remember somebody stopping my mom. And a few years later, she told me about what happened. And she said it was a recruiter. And she said it was a recruiter for Nickelodeon.
Ooh.
And this recruiter was specifically under Dan Schneider. And she said, so they said they wanted me to do commercials, and hopefully potentially that might land me acting roles.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So then they showed her a picture of who he worked for. And my mom took one look at Dan Schneider and said, "We don't work with fat white honkies, so I'm sorry." And that was it. That was my last day in the business, ladies and gentlemen.
And you dodged a bullet.
Yeah, my mom protected my butthole. I appreciate that.
Not trusting fat white people.
That was what was
definitely
needed.
Saved your butthole.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So the way I was looking at some of these kids, I understood, man. Like, I would have been impressionable. They would have did me a new one.
Yeah, because the way let's get into what's his name?
So Drake.
Yeah, and his
And we didn't even talk about Amanda Bynes.
Okay, let's talk about Amanda Bynes.
But no, I just want to say, like, if I was one of those kids, I know how impressionable I would have been. I'd have been doing whatever they asked me to do. It wouldn't have been no problem. They would have asked me to jump how high. Jump. I said, how high? I'd have been ready. My mama knew I was too impressionable. I'd have been down for whatever.
Decision.
Where do we need to go? This dark room? Okay, this is where my scene's gonna be.
How you want me to bend?
So shit at 6. I don't think I would have been that coerced.
Oh, my bad.
You'd have to tell me like
Maybe
there's. You just had to tell me it's a scene, my G. Like, oh, you know, there's something underneath the couch you need to go grab.
Oh,
Like I wasn't that. Like, you wasn't just.
I'm sorry, I'm
stretch
not
me out at
tactful
6.
with the way that I would hypothetically essay somebody. My bad.
No tact, yo. no little player at all with it. But I think before we go into the Drake Bell situation, you just be ready to jump into the nastiness. I think we should first touch on Amanda Bynes, because that was almost a whole episode. I didn't realize how talented she was.
Yeah, she was killing it.
I didn't think that, even in real time, when I just remember watching her, and the fact that she did have her own show, it didn't seem out of the norm for me.
No.
Like, it seemed like she was somebody who it just seemed to flow with. Like, her humor wasn't super girly. Yeah, it was she was funny.
Yeah.
She was like girl Jim Carrey.
Yeah, like a little child Jim Carrey.
And she just was able to control a room so easy. Like, I just remember some of her Ashley, that's me. Like, she used to be killing that shit.
She had like so many iconic characters on Amanda show. Like, Bring Out the Dancing Lobsters is one of my favorite. Amanda Please.
I didn't realize Penelope Taint. Like, that, I felt so dumb watching this, because I thought I was a smart kid, but they was just pulling out Penelope Taint. I was like, I didn't even realize that. Yeah. I didn't even realize what they were trying to address there.
No, that's really weird that you decided to name her that.
It was so crazy. I just was like, how did I not figure that out? What is wrong with me?
Well, to be fair, like, I didn't
but I
know
always
what
looked
a
at
taint
myself.
was.
I always looked at myself as a knowledgeable child, though. So, like,
but like,
I
to
should
know
have
what
caught
a
that.
taint is?
Yeah. I had white friends. I should have known that. I knew what a taint was. I just didn't put that together.
No.
I just thought it was a stupid name to call her.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was until like probably high school, like in tail end of high school.
So how this kind of works with Dan kind of was like worked hand in hand with Amanda. Like, they even showed like there was some little uncomfortable looking videos they had of them two.
Yeah.
Them, you know,
they were
laying
very,
on each
like,
other.
Physically close.
They were very, like, that's a good way to put it. They were very physically close. They were very affectionate to one another.
Mm-hmm.
The scene, like, they pointed out the one where he was in the hot tub with her, and he basically implied, I created this whole scene to happen because I am who I am.
Yeah.
Which didn't help for the narrative. That only
she was
reinforced
in a
it.
swimsuit and he was
fully clothed. So it just, I mean, again, glad he didn't have his shirt off. I mean, that would have made it worse.
Yeah.
But it was just so crazy just to see, because he even tried to kind of piggyback with her when they talked about she was on the show, What I Like About You. I did not realize she was 16 on that show.
I genuinely thought she was like in her early 20s in that show, but it's really crazy that she was 16. And it was on for a while too.
Yeah, she was the sister, like she was like the fast sister on the show.
Yeah, she was.
Which
she
made
was
it
like
even
the younger
crazy.
sister that moved in, and she was like irresponsible and stuff. I think the older sister's name was like Val. I'm not even sure, but I watched that show all the time.
I did too when I was younger, because I grew up around, Amanda Bynes is only a couple years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's probably like a year or two older than me. So as she progressed, it made sense that me watch her, and she progressed. And it wasn't like she grew up to be an ugly girl. She grew up to be a fairly attractive girl.
Yeah, she ugly now though.
Oh yeah, I mean the drugs hit her hard.
Yeah,
but
it's crazy.
And they even talked about her emancipation that failed, and that Dan was somebody who helped with trying to get her emancipated.
Of course. Because that was his cash cow.
It was his cash cow. But and once that failed, that's how he got back to Nickelodeon, and that's kind of where they tried to make it seem like he doubled down on a lot of things. So one thing we didn't address on the Amanda Bynes show was there was 2 female writers who had an absolutely horrible experience with him.
Mm-hmm. They had to split a salary when they got hired, so they were sharing one writer's salary.
Mm-hmm. And then he also talked about like how aggressive he was, how he would have them do a lot of uncomfortable jokes or just do things just because he wanted them to do with leverage, getting their skit into the show, things like that against them. He would either joke about or take things too far. Like they even talked about a lot of times him asking for massages from the women there.
The thing that stood out to me the most that he asked the blonde woman to do is like bend over the table while you're telling this story and act like you're being sodomized while you're telling this story. And then he just kept asking her and asking her and asking her to do it. And then she just did it. And then when they asked her about it in the interview, she was so uncomfortable that she was like, I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, and then it was just interesting how, like, it was something we noted when we were talking about how, like, when women have been victimized, they'll talk about it in the third person.
Yeah, she was like, I feel bad for that girl.
That young girl, yeah.
Yeah.
And so oh, no, speak on it.
It's like, as women, I feel like I do this too. You look back, it's not just as women, as people, you look back on your younger self as a different person because you're like, they had a completely different mindset than I do now. I have had so many experiences since I was that person that she does seem like a completely different person. I could go back and talk to her and we would be different. So that's...
I always feel bad when people say that because I'm pretty sure anybody who knows me, if they met me right now, would tell you that there's no real difference in me.
Well, that you could also say that's sad because you've had
no
growth.
I'm just saying. That's what I say. That's just funny when people say that. I never
emotional growth whatsoever.
Hey, got you, didn't it? That means I was already peaked out. But
or says something about me.
All right, so before we get into the darkness of it, because like I said, the one thing they did not touch on, there was no statement of violence that happened against Amanda Bynes. Nobody made any claims about her. I don't even think besides the hot tub scene, they really made her do too much, or they highlighted anything she did that made her feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, they kind of highlighted that like she was able to lean on her talents because she was super talented and her comedic timing was so good. And instead of being cute or being sexy, she was able to just be funny and silly and goofy, which was the first of its kind, like a woman doing that. So,
So after that, he goes back to Nickelodeon. They start to highlight some of the people that were on the Amanda show that kind of transitioned over. And one of the people that they referenced was somebody who was also on All That, and it was Pickle Boy, Brian Peck. Man, the John Wayne Gacy picture didn't do it for y'all?
That was insane.
I mean, they tell a story where, the kids go to his house. He has a party at his house. All, families are there. So it's not just like the kids are alone. And he walks and he sees a picture of a clown. And he ends up talking to Beck about what was going on. And he told him it was a John Wayne Gacy picture.
He turns it around and he sees like it's signed personally
by him.
Yeah.
Before we get into him, there's also another dude that was on the scene, Jason Handy.
Which is crazy that your last name is Handy.
Crazy. This guy, he brings up a girl. He formulates a relationship because he was kind of like the guy who would talk to the parents initially. So maybe if you got your kid who came up to the show for that day and they was going to put you in a scene, he was kind of like your point of contact for your parent.
Mm-hmm.
They say he exchanged emails with one of the girls and then sent the girls naked pictures of himself.
Masturbating.
And
pleasuring himself.
This is early 2000s, yo. What is this nigga on?
Emailing fully nude pictures of yourself in the 2000s. Do you know how much work you have to do that? Like, how early was this? Because depending on how early it was.
Pictures, though. You were sending pictures like 2000, 2001.
But, like, you would have to, like, take the picture, take the SD card, get it onto your computer, transfer it onto your computer somehow, and then, like, he had mad steps.
Or you had to scan it.
Like, there was so many times where he could have been like, this is a bad idea. Maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Let me stop at this step. But it took like 7 steps, and he was like all throughout that, like, yes, I'm going to send this child my penis.
It was definitely grainy, too. I can only imagine because, like, remember we used to take the cell phone pictures.
Yeah.
And they used to look crazy.
Yeah.
Like, Shawty used to send you a picture of her topless, and it was just like 2 little pixels right there that you got to see. You was like, okay, I think I know what that is. But it was
nasty.
Crazy because he ended up going to jail, I think, for a little. He did some time for that.
He should have did more time for that. It's always crazy to me the amount of time that people, child molesters and sexual deviants get. Y'all should get way more time.
It was crazy to me too that you didn't know that, like, before emailing pictures or like airdropping pictures to women, niggas used to just put a naked picture of themselves and just mail them out to random people.
That is, my day would be ruined if I came home after a long day. I got to sit at the computer, wait for the dial-up. And then I open my email to a white penis.
I'm talking about before that. I'm talking about in the mail.
So
this happened to my mom. She still has the pictures for some reason. It was crazy, but she still has the pictures.
You gotta stop throwing Shirley under the bus.
I'm just telling you real facts.
You gotta stop doing Shirley like this, because first you said 40-year-old high risk pregnancy, and then you telling us she saved random dick pictures that were mailed to her.
She told me that back in the day, and I've heard this from other women too. This is not just my mom. This is from other women her age, that men would take pictures of themselves naked, get a whole bunch of them produced, and then put them in envelopes and mail them to random people's homes. That was the wave.
And those are the same dudes who eventually got to Facebook and started doing that same thing on Facebook.
Yeah, straight up.
Same shit.
Again, Pickle Boy was the one who was probably the most egregious out of all this, because he even went on to, after what we're about to tell y'all about, because I'm going to do a trigger one first, just know what he did. He went to jail for, and then got another job with Zach and Cody. So I just want y'all to preface that. So this is going to be a trigger warning for this. This is assault, child violence, all the bad things.
Yeah, we should have did a trigger warning.
We didn't talk about any bad things, though.
But it was a couple.
Well, I think we did a good job hiding it. All right, so Drake Bell, if y'all not familiar, Drake Bell was on All That, I believe. I know he was definitely on the Amanda show, and he had his own show, Drake and Josh.
Yes, which I absolutely loved.
He was actually like at the time, he was like the quintessential white boy when I was growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he was cool. He was the cool white guy who had the skinny pants, the shirt with 2 stripes on it for whatever reason.
He had the hair.
Hair was rock star hair.
Hair.
He was, every time he looked at the girl on the show, she liked him. Like, he was cool.
He was always like just aggressively making out with girls on the show, on Drake and Josh. It was
hypersexualized for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
And it comes to find out that he was assaulted at 15. I think it was going on for like a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
And it was by Brian Peck. He was the guy who was doing this. They go into detail where they give Drake his own episode. And man, that talk with his father was having, because he was so protective over Drake.
So bad for his father.
I could understand that pain, where it's like you are trying to do what you can to protect your son, and it's like it's out of your hands. But no, it's just that's exactly what happened. Like, he was so protective of him during his early times with Nickelodeon that they end up getting basically custody over back to the mom.
So
that he
Brian
can
Peck
continue.
literally drove a wedge between him and his father. He was telling Drake that his dad was stealing money from him, which, how would you know? You have no access to his finances. And Drake started believing him a little bit and decided that he didn't want his dad to be his manager anymore. So his dad turns everything to his mother and was like, you can completely take over this career. I'm fine with it. The one thing
request
that I need you to do is to not let Drake ever be alone with Brian Peck. Do not let him be around that boy, because like he had a feeling, and it was like a parent's intuition, and he was 100% correct.
They tried to throw homophobia on him because they said that he didn't like Brian because Brian was gay. Like, they really, like, it was really like what the right wing conspiracy theorists try to put out. That's what they did to him. Like, when they try to say the liberal agenda, like they hit him with that. Where it was like, oh, you don't like him because he's homosexual. You need to be off the set, and literally unprotected.
Yeah. And then he gave a lot of grace to his ex-wife, because he was like, Brian tricked her, because I'd have been like, you raggedy bitch. I gave you one job and you did not do it.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
I think they said that they was like shortly after she got basically Power Everything, he was with him alone.
All the time, because it was just easier for him to be there. Oh, he was like, he lives in Orange County and it's a long drive, and he would be like spending the night at his house, and then it was just disgusting.
And he really couldn't even go into detail. You could just tell how scarred he was from just the lack of information he just wanted to provide.
He couldn't put it into words.
And then it didn't even stop until he was with his girlfriend at the time, and the mom was the one who was like, why is this 40-year-old man calling you multiple times,
blowing up your phone
to the point where he got our house phone number and called our house phone? She ends up getting him to a therapist. He opens up to a therapist. They get the authorities involved. They end up doing a wiretapping where he basically all but confesses to what he did, and they go to jail. He goes to jail. But in the midst of the trial, of course, they keep Drake's name, out of the paper and whatnot.
Yeah, he's completely anonymous.
He's completely anonymous throughout that time. There was a lot of your favorite famous people advocating for Brian Peck.
This was crazy.
So some people y'all might not be familiar with.
They were writing what were they called? Letters of like character or something like that.
Witness kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Just basically trying to say like, oh, he deserves grace.
Guy.
Yeah. Basically they're trying to stand up for his character witnesses. So James Marsden was an individual who wrote. Alan Thicke, Robin Thicke's father, wrote in his defense. X-Men producer Tom DeSoto.
Shame.
Ryder Strong, who was Sean on Boy Meets World.
The entire Boy Meets World cast.
It was Sean,
like,
and then
what?
it was Will Freddle.
It was literally just Topanga and Angela. That was the only two people that didn't.
Corey didn't write nothing either. But no, that he wrote one. They both wrote one. Let me see, who were some other people. I think that was pretty much the main ones that I took. But it was he even tried to get Drake to make him the dad on Drake and Josh.
Yeah. And then at this point, Drake was like, absolutely not. I do not want you to be anywhere near me. This is not happening. I'm not doing that.
So I think it's important that we had this conversation because, again, we don't want to belittle his experience because it's all documented and things of that nature. But do you feel like in some way this was also being used to clean up his image? Because he's also had things that he's gone to jail for, or not jail for, but he's got charged for.
Yeah, he did 2 years probation.
Yeah, for it was contacting and having inappropriate conversations with a 16-year-old girl.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a hurt people type of situation?
I think it's definitely one of those situations, because if you are subject to this in your childhood, then you are a little bit more likely to
repeat it.
Yeah. It's definitely not an excuse, but like it's a weird gray area, because you don't want to say that he deserves grace, but he went through something like extremely traumatic. And I'm just glad that like he didn't take it so far.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But he got punished for it. Yeah. And he did his time, and there's always going to be a stigma around his name, regardless of the fact that we know that this happened to him. Yes, you're still going to be like the creepy guy that was talking to a teenager. So
yeah, I mean, I kind of was being mindful of that portion, but I just to hear his story, it did understand where it was like, okay, man, this guy was like, if you even think about his archetype, like the redhead kid being abused, that's like all through media. Like, it's just crazy just to think about that. And it's just people
Did
act
he
like
have red hair though. I thought Drake had
it was
a brunette.
No, it was like a darkish burgundy-ish kind of looking color. But it was just crazy too, where people were like in their character witness were saying he was being tempted. They were saying that like the Brian Peck was being tempted by his victim, even with the confession.
That's not a thing.
It was just crazy.
You're just creepy and you're attracted to young boys. They're not tempting you.
So just to kind of put where Dan kind of fits into this, Dan didn't write a letter.
No, he just had light brown hair. He never had red hair.
Okay, well they had him in red hair where he was in that movie with Tom Cruise. But Dan didn't write any letter. Dan, from what Drake even said, was supportive.
Yeah.
There was a little inconsistency where the people who were at all that tried to make it seem like there wasn't any grace given. Like there was. They just said it was something happened. They said they made the parents walk out. That the parents walked out. They told the kids a rough thing of what happened and asked them, did they need to talk about anything? Nobody said anything, and this was over with after that.
Do you think that they handled it that way because they couldn't get into specifics, because they were trying to keep Drake's name out of it? Nobody knew that it was him.
Oh, no, for sure. It was that, and it was just them trying to protect their own asses.
That, too.
That's definitely
I think it was both
the
of
fact
those.
that they had the parents leave. If the parents left, that was already a violation of everything.
But why did the parents not get notified? That's what I want to know. Like, were they notified separately?
And that's what it seems like. They learned it at a separate time.
Okay.
But they told the kids on their own, which I thought was highly inappropriate if that happened.
Yeah. There definitely needs to be parental supervision when you're telling them that happened.
So,
but maybe they told each group 2 separate versions.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm hoping. I don't know.
It's like there was a lot of inconsistencies, but the way they kind of wrapped up, they went into the Zoe 101, iCarly, Victorious, Ariana Grande era, and they talked about a lot of inappropriate jokes that were there. They even referenced the backpack episode with the girl who was been real vocal, who was on Zoe 101.
Mm-hmm.
She was real vocal.
Name,
yeah, she was real vocal
girl.
in all of that. Then the Jeanette McCarthy does the tell-all book. McCurdy does the tell-all book. I think that was 2000. That just came out 2022. Did you know that?
Yeah,
I thought that book came out way before then.
No, she's been doing. She did a lot of press afterwards, so that's probably why, because she talked about it a lot.
I just remember that I thought that book came out like 17. But that's when they said that was the year he kind of got pushed away.
Nicole Bristow.
Oh, that was her? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
She was the one who was doing a lot of the talk. She said she had probably some of the worst time on the show.
Oh, no, her name is Alexa Nicholas.
Okay.
Nicole is the character that she played on Zoe 101.
Okay. But they said that she had a real tough time, and she's been one of the most vocal people about that. Let's see. I want to know the question is, there was no mention of Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon, what happened to you? You were working with Dan.
There's a lot of...
Don't be quiet.
There's a lot of people that didn't say anything that are...
Kel?
Jamie... Yeah, Jamie Lynn.
I wanted to say that too, because they kept trying to say the money shot thing they used to do that with Keenan and Kel all the time. They used to put orange soda, ketchup used to always get sprayed in Kel's face and Keenan's face. Like that was a normal thing.
That was just a normal Nickelodeon thing.
Yeah, so that's why I didn't want to take too much into it. But let's get into I want y'all.
There was a lot of like after stuff that happened.
Yeah,
with
there was
this
a
too.
lot of conflict that happened afterwards.
Like first,
we're talking about Just Jordan, JJ. Remember little JJ?
I do remember what happened with him.
He said that his show got canceled and they was not getting his butthole, even though his show wasn't even produced by Dan Schneider. His show was produced by a black guy.
Well, somebody else could have been trying to get it, because apparently in Hollywood it just be people trying to get buttholes.
Then it was Ned Declassified. You told me I can't not to say what I wanted to say about Ned.
Don't say that.
I'm not gonna say it, but Ned, you're foul.
You're super foul. Saying that like, oh, we didn't experience that when y'all have a podcast where you talk about how drunk and high y'all were on set all the time, and you talking about Jen just knocking down the entire cast. She was just on set, just between takes, just gobbling the dicks while y'all were drunk. And then she had a whole episode where she talked about basically being sexually assaulted while she was drunk, and y'all want to talk about, oh, we didn't experience that. No, you're still living in your victimhood, and you need to be saved.
Yeah, there's some therapy that needs to go on over
y'all
there.
Need intense
I just want y'all
therapy.
to know what I was going to say was a whole bunch worse than what she just said. Like, I had some heat for you, Ned. Real shit. You better be glad I didn't do that. And then
now you having a baby with her, the dick gobbler.
That's sick. That's nasty, Ned. And then also Dan did his own tell-all.
Tebow, you should be ashamed of your goddamn self.
I didn't like that. Apparently, he wasn't a child actor with them. He was an adult on the show.
He was a full adult. Yeah.
when he was on that show.
You don't remember Tebow?
I didn't.
He put everything on.
Even though iCarly was such a forward-thinking show, I didn't watch it. It was on when I was in high school, so it was like I wasn't really about to sit there and watch this flat-chested white girl. I feel like I can say that because I was a child.
And Nickelodeon for much longer than I should have.
At that time, like Zoe 101, when I was like a freshman in high school, like my junior year, my middle school 8th grade year to high school, like I used to like Zoe 101, but that's because the girls was like looking like girls, and they was alone with on the campus. There wasn't no adults around. Like, let's get busy. So what happened to me in high school. So but Dan did his apology, and I feel like I appreciate listening to it because, again, like we said, we thought we were getting Harvey Weinstein for children, and what it came out to be was just the dude was really just horrible bosses. And
a very, like, he put way too sexual of jokes in something that's supposed to be consumed by children.
But
let's not glaze past that. Let's not glaze past the amount of money shot jokes that this man made for children.
So let's
by
talk
children.
about. He talked about that though. He talked about that in his apology. He did take accountability for what was going on with the writers and what was going on set. But he said those jokes were not just solely by me. I did not have complete autonomy at Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
And to me, what it felt like after kind of getting all that information, it felt like he was just the scapegoat. They propped him up. They gave him all these awards and all of this notoriety while still promoting a culture where everybody in the room sees a young girl get sprayed with gook and gunk on her face that looks like cum, and we're all cool with it and laughing. To me, he's not the only person who's the archetype of that culture.
Mm-hmm.
There was other people who had to be okay with this. There was a group of people. When you work with kids, I worked with kids on movies and stuff before. There is a lot of red tape when it comes to working with children and what images are okay. There's certain things that you can't even do. Like with the child, if the mom isn't a person, like you can't have a kid naked in a movie or being shown naked in a movie if they're not being shown with their parent, like their actual parent.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I remember somebody was just telling a story. I think it was Zack Snyder was telling this story where he was trying to do that for was the Watchmen, and he was trying to have a scene where the boy was going to be like in his drawers or something. And they said the only way that they could do it was his real mom had to be in the scene with him, but he couldn't get his mom to do the scene, so the scene didn't happen that way. But like there is red tape that has to be done for children to be on set like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I agree where I don't think he was the sole archetype of these jokes. He wasn't the only person who was giving us the green light. There was people above him who wanted to see this.
Yeah, he has bosses.
And I feel like they set him up to be the perfect fall guy. So when it all came out, I think when he was coming down there being pissed off at people, it was a reflection of what he was hearing from the top. Oh, change this, do this over. Even though we just spent hours on these jokes, hours on this skit. Now you just want us to change it immediately and so we can be ready for the show in 2 hours.
There is a part of me that, like, yes, he was some sort of scapegoat, but at the same time, like, he was still writing these jokes. So he was still feeding into this culture also. Everyone is horrible.
Oh, I'm not taking that away at all.
Yeah.
I can just see where this has been set up for him to be just the fall guy for this. And
yeah.
I think that's fucked up. I think that's a lot of Hollywood BS that's going on there. I think there's a lot more people who should be held accountable for this.
That won't be.
And that won't be. I think a lot of people, I would argue there's probably people who produced this who was probably working at Nickelodeon at the time and could be a part of this. I would like to do some more deep digging before I make that concrete, but I would definitely, it wouldn't surprise me if there was folks like who were executive producers at Nickelodeon and did this too.
Yeah.
So, was there anything else that we need to get to with it? I think we kind of covered everything.
Yeah. Let's get into something a little bit lighter.
Oh, man. I'm so excited. It's back. First time in 20 years, I woke up and I got to watch X-Men.
Oh, baby.
X-Men 97 is back, baby. Hold on, I need to get some sound effects in here. I need to get some things going on.
My nerdy baby. He's so ecstatic.
All right, I'm just going to give a quick little review of the first 2 episodes. And, man, I felt like a child again. I can't even lie to y'all. They got everything I want. The only thing I was upset with was stuff that they wasn't even going to change. Like, man, that last scene of the second episode, well, not the last scene, but the last scene with Magneto in the second episode, when he brings those people up, I just wanted to see a brother in dreads right there. That's all I want. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to see a black man.
They was not gonna make Magneto an Atlanta nigga.
They just should have. That's all I wanted to see. Every word he was saying, I just wanted to see that come out of a brother that looked just like him but with dreads and was black. That's all I wanted to see.
Magneto be spitting.
He had bars.
Like,
he had so many bars. And the one that I just felt the most when he was like, I am trying to be better.
Mm-hmm.
That shit hit me at a core.
He said, I'm trying to be better, but don't make me let you down. I was like, ooh.
Bars.
First of all, this man was watching this show like a basketball game. He was like, ooh. I was like, what? This is not football.
No, this was more than that. That was like, you didn't, like, as a young revolutionary, like, you feel Magneto.
Yeah.
And so I was just so happy. So
let him cook.
Next episode, we need to get bigger so we can get because niggas got the 3rd episode already. Like the new rock stars and all them guys. We need to get our show bigger so we can start getting episodes early because I need that. I need to put that in right in here. Right in here, big dog. I need that.
No shame.
None at all. But we do got some shame to throw on somebody. Can we bring the Queen Bee to the front?
Ooh.
Woo! So if y'all not have seen, what is this called? Cowboy Carter?
Yes. So Act 2 of Renaissance has been unveiled to us by Queen Bee, and it's her country act. So her next album is called Cowboy Carter, and she recently, I think this was the album artwork that she put out. I'm not 100% sure.
It looks like it. I just think this is so coded in MAGA.
It is her on a white horse.
Talk about it.
And she is in her little cowboy get up with her little cowboy hat, and she has an American flag. And you can just see the stripes. There's no stars. You can't see the stars. There were people that were trying to like analyze, like, ooh, what does this mean? You know?
It's so MAGA. And I just think it's one part that you didn't really notice that I'm surprised that you did it.
What?
Cowboy Carter, in and of itself, that is, for all we've known our whole lives, Beyonce knows. So for her to not only adopt her husband's name in her artwork, like, I don't see how you can see this isn't MAGA code.
Let me really quick explain. There was like she said that she had done her research and like the first family that did country music, they were named like the Carters or something, which is why she's naming this Cowboy Carter. Her last name by marriage also just happens to be Carter.
Mm-hmm.
From what I read, I'm not sure if that's true. People on the internet just be saying shit.
Nah, I thought it was interesting. We probably could do some, backtracking, but my theory will still stand until proven wrong.
Yeah,
Let's
weave narratives.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we do here. I think it's very important to know that Trump has a digital trading card with very similar iconography. He is also on a white horse, holding a American flag.
That's basically the same thing.
This feels like, again, a lot goes back to what we said with Jay-Z. This feels a lot like you're begging to be accepted. This looks like assimilation.
So that is literally what Azealia Banks had to say about this.
Talk about the queen now. I know if the queen's saying what I'm saying, we on the right path.
So Azealia Banks, I think whenever she pops out and she says something, people be trying to make it seem like she's crazy, but like let her cook a little bit.
Let her cook.
Her opinions are very nuanced in comparison to other people's opinions, and she has nothing to lose because she's already been blackballed. So she gonna say the real. So basically, she came out and she was like, "This is tired." She was like, "I don't like this. You're basically begging for album of the year." She was like, "Girl, you've been had several album of the years already. Stop trying to get these white people's approval. You're obviously, very, very obviously trying to get these white people's approval, and you're not going to get it. So stop, like, pandering towards them." And then she came at Jay-Z. She was just like, Beyonce is super creative, and you can tell when she's at the helm of, like, when it's her idea, right? When it's Jay-Z's idea, it's corny. And she was basically like, "We don't like Jay-Z. Stop making songs with him. Okay, we don't want to keep seeing you with him. Go with your own ideas, and it's way more authentic when you do that."
His mother said, "Sis, I live for white Aunt'se, Donatella, Bianca, Bardot down. And I'm kind of ashamed at how you switched from Baba Ba trees and black parades to the literal pick me stuff. Like, you do lame stuff like bring out some blacklisted white women, Dixie chicks, at the Country Music Awards, and they would never do the same for you. You're always sharing your platform with white women who are so jealous of you, but have such a long history of sabotaging other black women's careers." God, give me some fucking shots of that bitch. Yo. I love Azealia.
There have been so many blind items that have come out. Like, if you're in that part of the internet, that support that. Like, Beyonce has allegedly have tried to ruin Rihanna's career because allegedly Jay-Z had an affair with her. She tried to, she ruined Carrie Hilson's career allegedly, and a slew of other women because Jay-Z won't keep his meat in his pants. And every time he messes with an artist, apparently this is the same thing allegedly that happened to Coco Jones, which is why her career is going nowhere.
She was messing with Jay-Z allegedly?
Yeah.
Smoke.
So we don't know. And then also, the fact that Azealia was just like,
Jay-Z like black women?
Apparently.
Was,
and Coco is young and hot. Like,
I'm just saying that she's not. I'm surprised he like black women like that. Like, he always seemed to be a brother that like to keep a little bit of a white in there. Like, he liked you to be a little bit passing white. Like, that's what always came to me. Even with Aaliyah, like, there was a lot of, at the time.
Yeah, Rihanna.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of what you could argue is white passing in regards to, like, the way they body types and stuff like that. So, I mean, I'm surprised because she's a little bit thicker too. That's a curvy woman.
Yeah, she is.
What you doing there, Jay-Z? Allegedly. What you doing around there, boy? What you know about how I do them curve there now, boy? You ain't from the country. You a city slicker.
The women in New York be having wagon asses too. It's just all over the place.
Nah, he was going to Maryland getting them wagon asses. We know what was going on out there. We know the children is out there. We know what was going on out in your little Baltimore runs. Wake it up.
Not the secret families.
All right. So was there anything else to pull from Azalea?
So I just wanted to say, it's interesting that she wants Beyonce to get away from Jay-Z because allegedly also in the blind items, Jay-Z, it's always been weird, the age difference between them and the stories they tell about the age difference when they met. So if it's true that Jay-Z groomed Beyonce, I feel like that's what she's also trying to say. Like, get away from this man who groomed you. He's boring, and your career would be better without him, and you would be more exciting without him.
Sis, I'm sorry to rain on your parade, but there's actually nothing monumental about it. Had you made a great country song, going number 1 should be the headline without the weird race part. But like Khalees, Ballerina, and Carrie Underwood have better songs than whatever nauseating little bae little bae on the prairie stuff is going on.
Which is
that looked like boy at first.
The songs are just like watered down. Like, I don't like this era. I don't like this act. I'm just gonna skip it. I'm not even gonna engage in it. But I love Beyonce.
Trying to think. Someone tell Jay-Z his strategies are corny and Beyonce has better ideas. Wake that shit up, Azalea. Azalea's who we need, man. I'm always gonna say, Azalea, you need to get on the microphone. Let me produce you.
Azalea, I desperately need you to start a podcast. Like, desperately.
We'll find you your own Rory and Moss.
I need you to get on somebody's network. Speaking of networks, really quick, Ray J was on Breakfast Club today.
Wake it up.
And
see, that's what I love when you do. When you sit there, you watch content, and you bring it back home.
And Ray J is a character, yo. I'm never not going to be a fan of Ray J. Regardless of his antics, that nigga know how to get on camera and make people care about what he's doing. So he's not with Raycon anymore. He sold Raycon back to the Raycon people. I don't know what that means. So now he's doing Tronics. So it's like comparable to Zeus. The only thing that's different is he's saying that if Zeus is their competition, apparently Ray J did the first, like his production company did the first couple seasons of like Baddies and Jocelyn's Cabaret and stuff like that. So he was like, if Zeus is our competition, we're our competition. Flex. So he was like, it's basically going to be reality shows like that, but there's going to be like actual storylines in between the fighting. Because if you watch Zeus shows, which we don't, because that's bottom of the barrel bullshit, it's just girls swinging at each other and they just be ripping each other's cornrows out, and it's just like no story in between. It's just girls beefing and swinging and just being ratchet hood rats. It's crazy. So Tronics,
I would love to cover that kind of content. As long as we're not talking about Big C.
Tronics is going to be a platform with a bunch. So he says he has reality shows with Suki Hana, Blueface. There's like a show where Safari is trying to find love. I think there's a show with him and his family. There's a show where he said he just got transgenders. He was just like, I got a show with transgenders. Bro, I love Ray J. We are going to be subscribed to Tronics. It's $4.99. We're going to get in on the ground floor, okay? I am excited to see the just pure debauchery that is about to unfold. It seems like a lot of people are following him from Zeus. He has like Stunner Girl and a couple other people, Blueface specifically, that are following him.
He got on Tron too?
Huh?
So Blueface is leaving Zeus?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So he said he has a show with
He's doing a
Blueface.
global takeover.
So he's taken over, and he's saying that like the reality stars on his network are gonna have more control over like what the editing is and stuff like that. There's he showed his like trailer, and at the auditions, I think for the transgender show, somebody pulled it out and just let it. Rah!
They pulled the hammer out?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
He said somebody almost got shot in the head.
Oh, talking about, I thought you thought the transgender pulled their meat out.
No.
He said the I thought they put the meat out.
No, they didn't. It was a gun.
I thought he pulled the hammer out. Was like, what's up?
Oh my God, that's hilarious. But yeah, so we are definitely Ray J. I am a fan, like OD.
So do you think this is happening? Because we know this is a cap artist. Do we think this is happening for real?
He has trailers for several of the shows in the like sizzle reel that he showed.
So did he show it on his phone to them, or did he play it on the screen?
So he was showing it on the laptop, and then they put it up on the screen.
Okay,
so,
wake it up, Ray J.
And then he had a big ass chain with the company logo. Charlemagne tested it. It was real diamonds. Well, why would you invest in a diamond chain
we don't know
logo for a company that doesn't exist?
I'm going to be honest with y'all. Y'all can beat that little diamond tester if he don't put it exactly on the diamond. Like if
Moissanite beats the diamond tester also. Did y'all know that? If you test moissanite on the diamond tester and if you test lab-grown diamonds on the diamond tester, it rings as diamonds.
So that's why I said that diamond tester is fugazi. So I don't want to hear that.
Also, stop investing in diamonds.
Show me the blood of the diamonds, nigga. Show me them little kid hands that had to grab it. That's what I want to see.
Just get lab-grown diamonds or moissanite. Like, it's literally same clarity, same hardness.
Or show
not moissanite, but lab-grown diamonds.
Or show me the blood in the blood diamonds. I need to know there was a little African that tried to grab that mug.
There was.
I need to know. I need to see his prints on there.
Like, you want like a little name card.
I need him to hold the little raw diamond and like smile with a thumbs up.
Kwame Mutombo picked this diamond.
Yeah, I need to know that. I need a click girl when I get my diamond, nigga. I can't say that.
It's just like, we need a compilation of you saying things and my mouth just dropping open.
My bad.
Like, that needs to be a compilation.
All right, so I think this is a good transition to get into because you were talking about the transgenders with good old Ray J.
I just also want to say that Ray J asked Just Hilarious to host a reunion for the show with the transgenders. Like, this nigga is very unserious.
She's definitely going there with the hate speech on. She's going to pull up like Uncle Ruckus for transgenders.
The show for the transgenders is called The Girls, and then she was like, it's called what? And he was like, The Girls. She was like, oh, all right. That thing that she says, she was like, all right.
She probably really wanted to say, whoa, I'm going to go up there and call it the boys. Okay?
The men.
Do it. The dicks.
But yeah.
We aren't like her, though. We're different. We aren't transphobic.
She beefing with T.S. Madison again.
That big back comment really hurt T.S.
Bro, T.S. Madison was on Poor Minds recently.
You just made, technically this is a good transition still, too, with the big back. We going to do the transition now?
Go ahead.
I wanted to get into Gilbert Arenas because of what he did, and the big back connection was Saucy Santana.
Oh.
That was the big, but then also what next we're going to talk about, but let's stay on this first.
Yeah.
Because I think that it's very important for me to say this, man. As somebody who is a connoisseur of podcasts, someone who enjoys and watches what's going on, Gilbert, I see what you're doing. And you are stealing the Joe Budden motto, bar for fucking bar.
Ooh.
It's there. It's fairly evident. Like, I think a lot of people haven't really done the science on Gilbert and Joe Budden, but I've been doing the science. These two guys, if you go back to their careers when it comes to basketball and rap, they're almost the same guy. Like, Gilbert Arenas was multi-all-star guy.
Mm-hmm.
One of his best seasons was in 2006. That was my freshman year. It was 2006. Joe Budden was high school.
Old as fuck. Like, ew. 2006?
Yeah, it was my freshman year of high school, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I graduated 2010.
Oh, my God. Go ahead. This nigga
2 years
old.
2 years after me.
It's literally my first year of high school was 2009.
Nobody cares about this part. So, Gilbert Arenas, 2006 season, and Joe Budden, Pump It Up, is essentially the equivalent of the two. Like, Joe Budden had a smash hit that goes around, remember for years, and in that same season, Gilbert Arenas gave 60 to Kobe. So, like, it's like these guys are respected.
Kobe is impressive.
These guys are respected by their peers in the same manner. And they kind of did the same thing. Like, once Joe was done with rap he went heavy into the podcasting. Once he was done with basketball, after doing some baby mama drama and stuff like that, which they also have in common. They are both known snipers. Like, these guys I believe they're Eskimo brothers. Straight up. I can't put.
They probably are.
I haven't found the connection just yet, but I'm doing the science. I'm gonna find out who they're connected.
The same girls.
I'm pretty sure. So Gilbert Arenas, I feel like y'all two are also Eskimo brothers. When it came to the media space, they took advantage of the same ploy, which was former basketball player, former rapper, disses this person. Mm-hmm. And that's where they kind of hijacked the algorithm the same way. They were both on Complex. When Everyday Struggle happened, Gilbert Arenas came in with his show with Mila Khalifa. And Joe even talked about how that kind of pissed him off because they're similar.
The porn star?
Yes.
What was he doing with her?
They wanted to. Remember when we was talking about him and Miko Grimes?
Yeah.
That was the show that he had promised to try to do with Miko first. But they ended up putting Mila Khalifa on there instead because she was a bigger name around that time.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Like I said, they both was on Complex. He didn't have the same kind of eruption that, Joe did with Complex. But even now with the whole podcast scene, he's even taken another decision from Joe. He's done another one of Joe's moves. The I'm bisexual move. He did. So goes back to Saucy Santana now. He said Saucy Santana twerking was better than Megan's. No lie. He said that.
Saucy Santana, that should be moving.
Oh, come on.
It do be. Like, he be throwing that shit. Like, first of all, I think he got a BBL, but he be throwing that man booty. And it be moving. That shit is heavy. Period. I don't disagree. I do disagree that it's not better. Because her butt move like water. Like, it's natural. So naturally it's better. But so that should be moving. And I feel like when I saw that, I feel like if you're secure within your sexuality, you can make a joke like that.
Oh no, I feel like, to me, I don't think this humor is bad humor. Like, I think a lot of straight black guys, they react to this humor, and that's what Joe and Gilbert are both hijacking. Just that reaction of, oh, this guy who people watch, he's a straight black guy, just said something slightly gay, and now that's going to make the algorithm go crazy.
Do you think Gilbert watches Joe Budden podcast?
Oh, for sure. I believe he takes notes. Because it's the pattern is like literally after Joe does something, a few years later, Gilbert will do it in his sports way.
Speaking of Joe Budden podcast, Flip, you're a bitch. Continue.
Smoke at your bitch ass. But he also fired co-hosts like slick, like how Joe did. Like Gilbert used to do his first podcast with this white guy, and that was like the main dude who was always with him. And then the next thing you know, he was gone, and he put Isaiah there, and that's all. Isaiah been with them for years now. But I remember the white boy Gilbert. I remember him. And Gilbert, y'all doing so bad out there. They out here stealing other people's jokes. So let me see if you are familiar with this.
They got special ed, right? I'm just saying, you know them special ed?
Yeah.
Right? You know the job of special ed teachers? To make them fit into society.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right? Now the problem is when they look normal, and then they go out and have regular family lives, you can't tell who.
No, let me tell you, so what happened, so let me double down on that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
After they graduate, they don't put no fucking sign on them. Right. Like, I was in special ed.
No, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
They just let their ass out of fucking society, like, here y'all go, right? Here you go.
You sitting there talking to one of them like, how you doing?
Yeah, they rolled.
She done motherfucking cut your whole arm off.
Well, they rode the goddamn short bus, right? They rode the short bus and stayed in one class all day. And didn't nobody see them, and then when they got out of high school, listen, they let them out in society. They ate lunch before everybody. You're right. Right? Yeah. They ate lunch before everybody. And they stayed in one class, and they don't know when they graduate, right? If they're able to graduate, well, they just pass them on. They ain't taking no test to graduate. They let them out of society, and with no fucking warning.
So Do you know where that came from?
No, I don't.
So there was a TikTok that was going around not too far. And you know who also played this TikTok? Joe Budden. Joe Budden played that TikTok on his page where it talked about this.
How long ago?
About 2 weeks ago.
Oh, wow.
So like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he plays the skit. And then they have this joke on, this was like this week on Gilbert's show. Like I said, Gilbert.
Podcasters are stealing sauce from each other.
Gilbert, you are stealing Joe's sauce, and you need to come to the front and admit it.
You need to come up with your own shit, sir.
That's crazy. And like I said, the TikTok did the same thing. They talked about special needs kids and how we just let them out in society and nobody can check on them and all this other shit. But Gilbert,
specifically, which is crazy, we don't need to label special needs kids. They're not fucking child predators. Like, let them out into society. What does that mean? They're just living their fucking life.
well, what sparked this conversation was the woman who left on vacation and left her like, what was like an 8-month or 10-month-year-old baby in a box for like 10 days. And then the baby died in the box.
She was special needs?
They were just saying like, because nobody knows after they leave high school, we can't identify the different people.
So we have no idea if this lady was special needs or not?
Yeah, that's just what sparked the conversation.
So just special needs people just caught her stray because this dumb bitch left her baby in a box to die?
I'm just telling you what sparked the
Even
conversation.
if you're special needs, you know that you don't leave a baby in a box to die for 10 days.
Well, it
regardless.
depends on how special needs you are.
It depends. Yeah, it does. It definitely does. But come on now.
I'm just saying, I see the sauce. I see what you're doing. I know that Brandon Jennings used to work with Maul, so that's your Maul. I see that Rashad McCants is your Rory. Then he also has like Ish. That's Kenyon Martin is your Ish. Lexi Brown is your male Ford. Like, I see what you're doing. It's very obvious. I've peeped game.
I don't know none of these people, but
it is I peep game. I know what you're doing. Then you bring in Cheryl. Like I said, Gilbert, I'm watching you. I'm on your ass. Okay? Pause if I need that. But especially with you, Gilbert. And I need that probably was necessary for a pause.
Apparently.
But I see you stealing. I see what you're doing. But I respect it because y'all are in similar lanes but are in two different niches. So I respect. Salute. Let's see what else we got to get into. You just want to get into the movie, the other big back correlation there.
Oh my God.
No, but that's what it was. Charlamagne said it. I didn't say it. So my man, we got to shout out to our boy one time. Again, he's been waiting for this.
Alvin.
Shout out
to the front.
Shout out to Mr. Alvin Gray, also known as Hood Lifetime.
Literally, Hood Lifetime. I enjoy it very much. It frustrates me like an equal amount. It's very 50-50.
So we want to thank Alvin for inviting us, letting us know about his virtual premiere that we watched. So we was able to watch it as soon as it released.
Mm-hmm.
First thing we're going to say is, hey, man, we appreciate the connection and all that other stuff. But I'm going to tell you this. I see why you put this one on YouTube. Because this was nothing like these other ones you've been working on.
Listen.
I see why this was the free pack.
Alvin had a very, great reaction to our last video. He's a really nice guy, like a great guy, which makes it a little bit harder to critique his stuff, and it makes me feel like an asshole, but I have no problem with being an asshole, so I'm going to kick your back in. Let's go.
And for any of y'all who feel like, oh, we're being on some bullshit, he gave us the green light, so we coming. This movie is the wife. Several
critiques.
This is the wife who didn't know who she married. So
this is based off Risa Tissa's viral story on TikTok. It was like a 50-part, 80-hour video detailing what she went through with her pathological liar of an ex-husband.
And then my boy Alvin turned that 50 minutes into a nice little, what was it, probably about? Hers was longer for the 50 minutes.
It was 40 hours.
Yeah, hers was 40 hours. Yeah, you're right. His was an hour 30. Nice and compact.
Oh, no, hers was 8 hours. My bad. It was 50 videos. It was 8 hours.
Okay, so yeah. His was a nice compact hour, 30 minutes. So if you want to know what's going on, he'll put you right there. So first things first, I didn't watch Risa Tissa's anything.
So the movie does not let you know what Risa Tissa went through.
At all.
At all.
They don't even acknowledge her.
All of the nuance in her story was completely taken out by Alvin. Completely. I don't think Alvin
He Baltimoreized this movie.
I don't think Alvin watched all 50 parts of Risa Tisa's story.
No, it would
He
have
can't have.
It would have took him longer to watch everything that she put out than it did to film this movie.
It seems like Alvin watched the clips of people talking about what Risa Tisa went through and then wrote the script based off that.
Yeah, he definitely is. Like, so the first one is like the obsession with Powerades.
The blue Powerade. So if you watch Risa Tisa's story, this was very much towards the end of her story, towards like middle endish part, when Legion, after a bunch of lies, after she's already fed up, he injures his knee and he's bedridden, and all he's doing is drinking blue Powerade, and she realizes he's also peeing in these Powerade bottles. In the first scene of the movie, when she's going on the date with him, her car breaks down. He comes to save her, to like change her tire or whatever. He goes inside. He's like, I'm about to change your tire, so I'm gonna go inside real quick, get a Powerade. There's a real quick, it flashes to him changing her tire. There's 3 bottles of Powerade on the ground. When he's done, he's like, before we go, let me go get another Powerade. Nigga, there's 3 right there.
Yo, this man had a Powerade glued to his hand.
The entire movie.
He was taking
swigs of it in between. Ooh, I wanted to knock that shit out of his hand. I wanted to, nigga, what the fuck are you doing?
I know his entire insides was blue after filming this movie.
It wasn't his entire insides because this movie took 6 hours to shoot.
So after that, they end up kind of doing a little whirlwind romance, and he kind of basically starts to finesse the entire time. One thing I kind of threw me off with this was like he always had like a drunk haze to him the entire movie.
Like the Powerade
was a 40 ounce.
Like it was hypnotic in that.
No, it was like it was malt liquor in that fucking bottle.
Like what?
His disposition, and I don't know if this was just a character choice of what he was trying to do, but his disposition was like a drunk wino the entire time. I didn't know when his emotions were going up or when it was going down.
Because he's a bad actor. That's simply, he's not a good actor.
Oh, so that part was just
But also, Alvin put out the ad for the actors for this movie on Craigslist.
For sure. And he also like, there's a scene in the movie where he's supposed to be mad at her because her boyfriend or something, her ex-boyfriend came to the house.
Mm-hmm,
and
she made up.
He was literally the same disposition he was when he was fixing the tire. He was fixing the tire. Like, I could not tell that he was upset at all.
Horrible actor. What I want to talk about is Alvin's role in this movie. Because that was probably like the most ridiculous and simultaneously my favorite part of this movie. He's supposed to be the realtor, and then he picks up the phone. He's like, yes, hello, this is the realtor. How can I help you today? He was literally screaming. Alvin, why were you screaming?
Yo, and you could tell like this was done, like it was a post cut, like they weren't talking to each other during the scenes because they were not reacting how anybody would react when you would have seen Alvin, the way he had his whole character. Like the first time we watched it, she was like about to go to sleep and she heard Alvin's voice and just went, "Is that Alvin?"
I was like, what is that? Why is he so loud?
So they end up keep going on. He basically kind of has like these Bentleys of lies, but they're like, she does this woman thing where she's like, well, he's paying the bills and he's keeping up us afloat. It's just, it ain't as big as he wants to do. Can I just say this one thing?
She was just going with the flow.
She had the worst fits of the entire movie. I thought that like every outfit they put her in was just so unflattering. Like, especially when they went to the graveyard, she looked like she was trying to be Eddie Murphy.
She was just in like hoodies and just bad shit.
When they went to the funeral or the cemetery, she was in full leather. Like she looked like she was about to go. She was a comedian. She's a comedian. So it looked like she was trying to go on a set. Like she had a 15 to do after they filmed this. No lie. She looked like that's what she was about.
This, oh my God, Alvin. I want you to try. It's also like he is hood Lifetime, because Lifetime movies, like, I just be frustrated and confused the whole time, and that's what I feel like when I watch Alvin Gray movies. Like, I just be frustrated and confused the whole time. And then there's a couple tidbits that I'm like, this is so bad that I'm entertained because it's funny. But past that, I'm just frustrated the entire time, bro. Like, it's so crazy.
It's funny that I was noticing through this movie, unlike the Megan Thee Stallion movie, and even the Nurse movie, wasn't no sex scene in this movie.
There couldn't be.
Oh no, it could have been.
Didn't nobody want to see that sex scene?
If you wanted to go viral, Alvin, that's what you should have did. You should have put a sex scene in there.
I'm glad you didn't.
No, they look like the couple who
no
like
shade.
Like they look like the couple when the guy is like freshly out of jail. Like that's how couples usually look like when a man just comes out of jail. That's what they look like. They either look like that or the couple where the girl like don't really want the old nigga to hit, but it ain't really too many niggas knocking, so she put her head over the pillow while you hit. Like that's the kind of couple they look like.
Mm-hmm. Alvin, why do you keep casting people with the thickest Detroit accents?
It's not Detroit, it's Baltimore.
Baltimore. What? Why do you keep casting people with the thickest Baltimore accents that you could find?
The mic be picking up them
Like it's crazy. Try to find somebody that doesn't have the 2U. Like, please.
It's not his fault. Baltimore is a third world country. It's not his fault.
It is.
Hey man, I'm a PG guy. I'm sorry. You know we gotta throw hate at Baltimore.
Like, it takes me out of it.
And then the movie ends with like him getting arrested, and I think it was like for like I want to say it was like property or something, like tax or something that he had going on.
He had
like some type of warrant was on his jacket.
From what I remember from the actual story, he had like a warrant, and then she called the police because she wanted him out or something.
Yeah, he wouldn't get out the house.
Yeah.
And like they had to do like a setup where he like basically she was working with the police doing a stakeout trying to get him to come to the house. It was so fucked up, man. Oh my goodness. But no, I just gotta say shout out to her name was Woo the comedian. She was the girl who played Risa Tisa. Shout out to you because you know people's gonna make fun of you doing this role.
She did have a couple, like when she wasn't actually acting and she made like a little couple side comments. Those were funny. You could tell that she had good comedic timing.
Like when the stepdaughter died and she was like, "How did the girl get your number?"
She was like, where is this coming from? But like you could tell that she has good comedic timing and she just didn't have a good script to go off of. So shout out to you, girl.
And also another reason that Alvin is hood Lifetime is he didn't pay Risa Tisa for this either. So
he definitely didn't.
Just like Lifetime wouldn't. So shout out to you, brother.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else we had to add to that?
No, I think that is everything.
I think that was.
Oh, I also wanted to say, like, Alvin, you need to come to Atlanta to shoot something. Definitely.
And he also got some more movies coming. This man, Alvin, had a whole little trailer before the movie dropped and everything. Mm-hmm. He got the actor that got chased around the city.
Mm-hmm. So it's a Jonathan Majors movie. And shout out to you for getting a white girl to play the white woman because I was very taken aback by Kylie in the rapper who got shot in the heel. I was very taken aback by Kylie being a thick, dark-skinned black woman. Like, what the fuck?
It was shocking.
Nigga, you couldn't find one white girl? There was
you
not
made her
one white
skinny?
girl?
You couldn't have made her like a juxtaposition between her and Megan?
Yeah.
Like, there would have been at least a better reason for her to be like acting like she was angered because you on a girl that don't look like me. So, speaking of that, let's get into a little question I have here for us.
What is the question, baby cakes?
So I was watching some videos and they was talking about like threesomes and like how you get a partner and things of that nature. And it made me think about when we watched that Real Sex episode where the guy had the threesome. They had that threesome with the girl and his girl was like real top heavy. She had like big breasts, but the girl that they had the threesome with had a real big ass. And he even like made comments of it when they was kind of talking about their experience. And it made me ask the question. So as you as an individual, if there was a threesome to be requested, would you be more upset if that happened with somebody who looked like you or it was your phenotype or with somebody who had qualities that were the opposite of yours?
I would prefer that you request somebody that fits in the same box as me.
Could you expand why?
Well, I love feeling like I'm your preferred type. Because that's what I do feel like about my husband. I feel like I'm what he prefers, which feels good, right? And it would make me feel the opposite if you requested other, like this is something that you desire so much you don't get and you want it. Like I wouldn't like that for my ego.
I mean,
I would want you to request a threesome with somebody who looks like me, because how would you feel if, hypothetically, because obviously in his world I can't request a threesome.
why would you?
It's
even
just
want
divorce.
to? Why would you
It's
even want
just
to?
divorce. There's no threesome. You gonna have to leave, bitch. That's what he's thinking. But if there was a world where I would be able to request a threesome with another man, this is not happening. But if this were to happen and it was like dark skinned black man with like waves in a fade.
We fighting. I'm doing a Chris Benoit.
Yeah, like
it's over with.
He would not.
Crashing out.
Your ego would be crushed.
My chest would hurt, and everybody got to feel it.
Because then now you're spiraling. You're like, is this what you actually want on a regular basis? And you're requesting this because you want to fulfill this like little quota that you haven't gotten from me.
That's what it is.
Because you hate me.
That's exactly what it is. It's trauma in the highest order.
Yeah.
That's all you're trying to do. You're just trying to hurt me. You don't want me to feel good about myself. That's what it is. That's what it is. And then if you were to do that, I would just start giving them fake kisses like Jonathan Major.
You saw that?
I did.
That shit made my skin crawl.
That wasn't good, Jonathan. I didn't like that.
That is Megan Good. Do you know how many men have fantasized about just being near that set of lips?
The only
they
thing
are pillowy soft. I'm fully straight. Okay? If I had the opportunity to kiss Megan Good, I'm lingering for at least 7 seconds.
The only thing I can understand is this, because you be wearing some lip gloss that I don't like to kiss either.
Yeah.
I don't mind if you don't have it on, but if you got that gunky, lip gloss on, I don't really want to kiss that. And maybe she had that on. Because it looked like he didn't want it. He looked like he was disgusted with black women.
Because
like that shit was like,
yeah, he was like, oh no, not your big nigger lips.
It's like, please show me grace.
I want to watch the video though, just so I can see if she had lip gloss on.
No, she definitely had something on her lips. I don't know if it was makeup or not, like lipstick or anything, but she definitely had something on her lips. I can just understand where like that stuff doesn't feel good on your lips as a guy. So I can just understand that kind of kiss. So that's why I wasn't trying to hold him to like any kind of real standard with it. But it did look wild. Like it did look like you detested white women. I mean black women.
I can't find it.
All right, do we want to get into anything else? I think we're good. Is
everything. That it?
I mean, that was everything that we was gonna hit on. I mean, we feeling in the froggy or anything. LeBron's podcast is pretty cheap. This nigga had JJ Redick writing down pieces of paper. Nigga, you have money, dog, and you better spend it now before Savannah take it. She over there posting sexy red stories.
Fuck my baby dad.
Nigga,
fuck my baby dad.
Get your fucking house in order, LeBron. The fuck going on?
Why do we know how Savannah's feeling?
I'm telling you, too many emotions. I remember niggas thought I was crazy when he like randomly like posted how much he loves Savannah one time, and I did the science. I was like, this is not their anniversary.
She's mad at you.
This is not her birthday. Oh, this nigga in trouble.
Did you see they posted a video dancing with Zuri?
Oh, he looked so upset. He looked like he saw our video. And he laughed a little too hard at it. And Savannah was like, oh, no, come on. We doing the TikToks.
It looks like he didn't know how to do the dance. But
no, I seen that. That wasn't it.
That's one of my favorite.
I think we're about to
TikTok
become
dances.
a LeBron cast. We're going to be a LeBron Savannah cast up into the divorce proceedings.
I don't know. I really hope they don't get divorced.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if she can muster up. I don't know, man. They talking about he threw her under the bus with the trainer, allegedly. So you didn't hear about that?
No.
So
what is that about?
So there was a trainer who allegedly worked with her and worked with one of his managers and he was involved in dealing to other professional athletes steroids. And they were saying Savannah had said that she worked with him, but she never received anything from him. Also was the same thing that I believe it was Maverick, but I'm not sure. But it was another guy on his team who worked with him but said he never received anything for LeBron.
Oh, wow.
So people were saying, like, she already had to clean up one of your messes here. It's, some things may be going to crumble. I don't think anything's crumbling at all. I think that it's pretty much all that stuff is to the background. Like, LeBron has been 20 years in the game and ain't nobody said nothing about anything. If he was juicing, fuck it. They don't care. Nobody cares. So I just think that's interesting. So we're going to definitely stay on LeBron.
You know what? I was making that face just now while you were talking.
Why?
I went on Ray J's new network. I Googled the Tronics network. The page is still like a WordPress page. And then if you go to their Instagram, they have like 2,300 followers.
No, but that's the same thing with LeBron's page.
Hold on.
When-
Okay. So this was the wrong page.
Hold on. When LeBron,
They have like 16K.
Hold on. When LeBron posted his Mind of the Game page, they didn't have they Avi yet. There was not an Avi on the Twitter post.
This is a mess.
So for like 12 hours, there was a post with them with no. I sent them. Are y'all hiring? Because clearly y'all need help.
Ray J, where do we pre-subscribe? Because you said in the caption to pre-subscribe, but then
I
when
told you
go to
this
the,
nigga was lying.
When you go to the thing, hold on.
I
Maybe
told
went
you
to
this nigga
to
lying.
the wrong website. Like there was no website.
I told you.
Okay.
it's up.
Yeah, look at that blue face.
Does it? Hold on. Let me see. Does it have the lock when you want to get to the? Okay, it does have. Okay, he got the little lock by the website. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, so we about to subscribe. $4.99 a month, baby.
Are we writing that
Going
off?
on a safari.
That's sick.
House of Blueface.
That's sick.
Inside the network.
What do you think he gave them? You think he gave them upfront
the
money?
Fight Club.
Do you think he gave them upfront money, or do you think he splitting the ad money?
I don't know. It's
Niggas like to split the ad money, yo.
Wow. This
Niggas-
is crazy. I'm highly entertained. Full year of unlimited streaming for $49.99, but it's $4.99 a month.
Okay, at least he ain't doing a Tasha K.
Okay, like
Tasha K would have made you pay for them 2 months.
yeah, you getting a little discount. You getting a little $10 off.
Well, you getting 2 months free.
Yeah.
So you only gotta pay for 10 months if you do that. All right, I think we can wrap it up. We good?
Yeah. We good.
I think we had a good show here. I hope y'all were entertained. Were you entertained? Sorry. That was too much.
I got a message on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. I'm so glad I didn't forget about this. Man,
no,
hold
you
on.
forgot about it.
I'm so glad that you didn't forget about
didn't
this.
forget about
yes,
it.
I'm so glad I didn't forget about this now. Yo, Savon.
I just don't know if bringing his brother into this is the correct.
No, this is how we have to wake it up, all right? Podcaster to podcaster. Savon, you're no longer the Don to me. Talk to your brother, nigga. Talk to your brother. This nigga, I know we mentioned it on the last one that there was some 6 degrees of separation type shit going on here, but my nigga, stay out my wife's DMs. I will talk big. Woo! My nigga, stay out of my wife's DM. She ignored you once. Savon the Don's brother. Savon, get your fucking brother. She ignored him once. Then this nigga tried to dirty Mac and call my wife his soulmate. My nigga, I will fire you up. Do you understand me, my nigga? Do you have a problem, my nigga? I will be there on 14th Ave or whatever that shit is up there in New York, nigga. I will meet you at SOB's.
Baby. Let me tell the story. You say I be jumping the gun.
That nigga disrespected me, yo.
He did. So I got a Facebook message a while ago. I ignored it. I got a follow-up message saying that, like, send me your number. And I was like, I'm married. And you know how you only get like a portion of the message. So when it popped up, it was like, oh, I didn't realize, congratulations. And then I was like, okay. And then I opened the message, and then it was like, he was like, don't let your husband stop you from finding your soulmate. We're supposed to be together.
Hey, bitch ass nigga, don't you ever in your motherfucking life think that anything over here needs some correction, my nigga.
And I was like, that's wild. That is wild. We are not soulmates.
At the fuck all. Nigga, how you gonna be? Nigga, this nigga is disrespectful as fuck. You ain't never done nothing with this. You was cool with her. You knew her in school, nigga. 4th period, nigga. She gave you a glass of milk one time, nigga. She paid for your lunch money, nigga. You wasn't that kind of dude. Talking about soulmates, nigga.
There's no basis for him to be saying like it was just crazy.
Savon call y'all shared daddy up and y'all niggas need to have a discussion. Y'all need to have a discussion, nigga.
I don't know.
Cause is this how y'all daddy teaching y'all the dirty Mac?
Wow.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
I know that. I know you a son of Button. Is this what Button taught you? Is this what he teaching you to teach your brothers?
His brother isn't.
Y'all all getting smoked now.
Wow.
Shit. Stay out of my wife's DM or you gonna get the Will Smith treatment.
That was very interesting though. It was really interesting to experience. So yeah. So that's it. That's the last thing. That's the only thing. We're done.
Fucking clowns, yo. This is wild. You know, this is not the first time this happened to me. I've had other girls that I've dated had the brother to work. You know the nigga from Hoes?
Zero?
Yeah, his brother. Old work. Hit my old work. And I kind of smothered her out, too, according to the story she told me, but still.
Why would she tell you that story?
I was trying to figure that out for a little bit, too.
Yeah. If you got smothered out by anybody, you shouldn't be telling anybody that
especially by the
dating.
brother. Like, because my thing is this. If you think about.
You didn't even get smothered out by the famous nigga.
When you think about what the brother is going to shoot at a certain type of woman because he see who his brother accomplishes with his fame.
Yeah.
So he know better not to go to who type of women his brother going to.
He's gonna shoot at the girls that are gonna be impressed by the fact that you're a famous nigga's brother.
So that should have showed you a lot about that then. But still, I don't like that. I don't like how these brothers of famous niggas and me getting the same kind of work. Not in this sense, because you didn't get this work. You just got to know this work. Non-familiarly. You wasn't familiar with her though. You know what I'm saying, my G? But nah, that shit was lame. Don't let that shit happen no more, my nigga. It's smoke big ups. Lord. Big ups, nigga. Cutting all that up too, man. It's gonna be a good little cut up for Savon the not the Don no more, nigga. What you need to know is to tell your brother to watch his fucking DMs and stay out of anything going on over here.
It's really wild because I feel like he just sent out like a grip of those because there's no reason.
Then you try to treat my wife like the joint? Oh my nigga, no. You gonna get my wife the spam message? Who this nigga think he is? You Savon the Don's brother.
Oh my God.
Like, huh?
Let's end this.
No.
Let's get off this.
Savon, you Savon the Don's brother? Thinking that you could come at my wife? No. Man, life is a labor of love. So let's keep building these moments together, except Savon the Don's weak ass brother. And remember, your job is not your family. And the only thing we should be exploiting is corporation and Savon the Don's fucking brother's loser ass. We out of here.
Wow.
Like, follow, subscribe.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Follow us on all the social media. Did you end it already? Oh, okay. Well, follow us on all of the social media at talk.fnf.tv. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Hopefully TikTok still exists. Bye, guys.
That's what we coming at you, Savon the Don's brother, just like this. Your whole fucking block, nigga.
Wow.